Have you ever sat back and wondered if a man truly loves you, not just in passing words, not just in fleeting affection, but in a way that is steady, enduring, and real? At this stage of life, we've learned that love isn't always what it seems. Grand gestures, passionate declarations, and poetic words may feel good in the moment, but they often fade when life gets hard. The truth is, real love reveals itself not in comfort, but in commitment. In how a man shows up when things aren't easy. In how he stays, not just when you're smiling, but when you're hurting. And in today's world of instant emotions and short attention spans, this kind of love is rare, but not impossible. That's why we turn to ancient wisdom. The Stoic philosophers taught that true love isn't driven by emotion, it's guided by virtue, reason, and a deep sense of purpose. So if you've ever wondered whether the man by your side truly loves you, this message is for you. Because real love isn't loud, it's consistent. And when you find it, you'll never have to question it. A brief explanation of Stoic love. When people hear the word Stoic, they often picture someone cold or emotionally distant. But Stoic love is something very different. It's not about shutting off feelings, it's about mastering them. It's about loving with clarity, intention, and strength, even when life throws curveballs. The Stoics believe that true love should never be reckless or based on impulse. Instead, it should be rooted in virtue, qualities like wisdom, courage, patience, and integrity. A man guided by Stoic principles doesn't love you just because he's caught up in the moment. He loves you because he's made a choice to. His love isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and dependable. Not driven by passion that flares up and burns out, but by character that stands the test of time. Stoic love isn't about feelings that come and go. It's about actions that stay, no matter what life brings. 1. He chooses virtue over passion. We've all seen the kind of love that burns bright at first: romantic dinners, passionate words, big promises. But how many times does that kind of love fade as quickly as it flares? The truth is, passion is like a summer storm, loud, intense, but gone before you know it. Real love, the kind that lasts, isn't built on passion. It's built on virtue. In Stoic philosophy, virtue means living with integrity, wisdom, courage, and self-control. A man who truly loves you doesn't let his emotions run wild. He doesn't say things just because he's overwhelmed with feeling in the moment. Instead, he loves from a place of steady purpose. He chooses to be loyal. He chooses to be kind. He chooses to stay, especially when life gets hard. Imagine a man who is affectionate when things are easy but turns cold the moment life gets stressful. Maybe he lashes out, withdraws, or starts acting distant. His passion once felt deep, but now it feels unstable. That's not real love. That's emotional immaturity, love without self-mastery. Now, picture a man who faces those same hard times but responds with calm, patience, and care. He doesn't let frustration turn into cruelty. He doesn't let pride keep him from listening. He shows up when it counts, not just when it's convenient. That's what Stoic love looks like. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, wrote that true love doesn't make you lose yourself. It helps you become better, stronger, more at peace, more grounded. A man rooted in Stoic virtue loves you not because of how you make him feel in the moment, but because he sees your worth through every season, high or low. This kind of man doesn't just say, "I love you" when the sun is shining. He proves it in the way he stands by you in the storm. His love is not reactive, it's intentional. It's not based on fleeting emotions, but on enduring values. And in the long run, it's not passion that carries a relationship through decades of life, it's character. So if a man chooses virtue over passion, day after day, know this: you are loved in a way that time cannot shake. 2. He leads with reason, not just emotion. We've all witnessed relationships where emotions run high, where arguments explode over small things and words are spoken that can't be taken back. At first, the passion might feel exciting, even romantic. But over time, it becomes draining. Love that's ruled only by emotion tends to swing like a pendulum, soaring 1 minute, collapsing the next. A man who truly loves you doesn't just feel deeply, he thinks clearly. He leads with reason. That doesn't mean he lacks emotion. It means he knows how to handle it. He doesn't react impulsively or say things he'll regret later. Instead, he pauses, reflects, and responds with wisdom. That's the kind of man Stoic philosophy teaches us to respect. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That same strength shows in a man who doesn't let anger take the wheel. When there's a disagreement, he listens first. He doesn't raise his voice just to prove a point. He speaks with calm, not to win, but to understand. I once knew a couple married for over 40 years. Their secret wasn't that they never fought, it was how they handled conflict. The husband, a quiet man who'd grown up on a Midwestern farm, would sit in silence for a moment before answering his wife during heated discussions. He'd take a deep breath, fold his hands, and say, "Let's think this through together." That calm presence kept their marriage grounded through decades of change. Emotions are natural. We all feel frustrated, scared, or upset from time to time. But what matters most is how we act in those moments. A man who truly loves you will not let fleeting feelings drive lasting decisions. He chooses patience over pride, clarity over chaos. This kind of man won't storm out, slam doors, or use silence as punishment. He'll stay, even when it's uncomfortable, because he values peace over control and communication over drama. His love is not about proving he's right, it's about protecting the relationship. A man who leads with reason offers something more valuable than romantic highs. He offers emotional security. And in the long journey of love, that steady hand is what makes all the difference. 3. He protects and provides without ego. There was a time in America when being a man meant showing up, quietly, consistently, and without fanfare. The men who built families, communities, and legacies didn't do it for attention. They did it because it was the right thing to do. And that's the kind of love Stoic philosophy speaks of, a love that protects and provides not from pride, but from principle. A man who truly loves you doesn't need to boast about what he does for you. He doesn't use his role as a provider to gain control, or hold his efforts over your head like a trophy. Instead, he protects without making you feel small. He supports without demanding recognition. His care is steady and quiet, like a rock, not a spotlight. In today's world, protection is often misunderstood. It's not just physical or financial, it's emotional and spiritual. A Stoic man offers safety through presence. He's the one who notices when you're overwhelmed and steps in without being asked. He doesn't solve your problems to feed his ego, he stands beside you so you don't have to face them alone. I remember a man named Walter, a retired Navy officer and longtime friend of my father. His wife once told me that during her hardest moments, illness, grief, transitions, Walter didn't lecture, fix, or disappear. He made coffee. He held her hand. He made sure she ate. No drama. No speeches. Just unwavering presence. That, she said, made her feel safer than any grand gesture ever could. Stoic love isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It shows up in the little things, remembering the doctor's appointment, warming up the car on a cold morning, staying calm when you're falling apart. And when something threatens the peace of the home, whether it's financial strain, health challenges, or unexpected crisis, he doesn't panic. He stands firm. Importantly, this kind of protection never feels controlling. A man rooted in Stoic values respects your autonomy. He doesn't smother you with help to feel needed. He honors your strength while offering his own. At its core, this is a love that says, "You are safe here." Not with words, but through consistent, humble action. A love that shields without overshadowing. A love built not on ego, but on quiet, noble strength. 4. He respects your independence. A man who truly loves you doesn't want to own you, he wants to walk beside you. In our younger years, love is often mistaken for closeness that blurs boundaries. But with time and wisdom, we come to understand that the healthiest love allows space to breathe, grow, and remain true to oneself. And this is exactly what Stoic love teaches: love without possession, support without suffocation. A man rooted in Stoic virtue understands that you are not an extension of him, you are your own person, with your own thoughts, dreams, and path. He doesn't feel threatened by your independence. He respects it. In fact, he encourages it. He doesn't question where you're going every time you step out. He doesn't become jealous when you spend time with friends or pursue hobbies that don't include him. Instead, he smiles and says, "Enjoy yourself." Because he trusts you. And because he knows that a strong relationship isn't built on control, it's built on mutual freedom and respect. There's something deeply empowering about being with someone who never asks you to shrink to make them feel bigger. A Stoic man doesn't need you to dim your light so he can shine. He wants to see you rise, and he's proud to stand beside you while you do. I recall a story from a neighbor named Carol, married nearly 50 years. She once told me that during her career as a teacher, her husband Jim never once made her feel guilty for her ambitions. He didn't just allow her independence, he celebrated it. Whether she was mentoring a student late into the evening or pursuing graduate classes in her 60s, Jim supported her every step of the way. And because of that, their love grew stronger, not weaker. Stoic love doesn't cling. It trusts. It doesn't restrict, it expands. A man who respects your independence is a man who sees you as his equal, not his project. He doesn't fear your strength, he honors it. At this stage of life, you deserve a love that liberates, not limits. A love where you can fully be yourself and still be deeply cherished. And when a man loves you this way, you don't lose yourself in the relationship, you find someone who helps you grow even more into who you were always meant to be. 5. He loves through action, not just words. Anyone can say "I love you." It takes less than a second to say, but a lifetime to prove. Over the years, you've likely heard plenty of words. Promises, sweet talk, apologies. But as life teaches us, it's not what people say, it's what they do that tells the real story. And Stoic philosophy reminds us that character is measured not by grand declarations, but by consistent, quiet action. A man who truly loves you doesn't rely on flowery speeches or empty reassurances. He shows up. He follows through. He keeps his word, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's watching. Because for him, love isn't a performance. It's a commitment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A Stoic man takes that to heart. He doesn't just say he's devoted, he lives it. When he says he'll be there, he shows up on time. When you need help, he doesn't wait to be asked. His actions speak so clearly, you never have to wonder where you stand. I remember a woman in our church, Grace, who lost her husband after 42 years of marriage. When asked what made her marriage so strong, she didn't talk about love notes or flowers. She said, "Every single winter morning, he scraped the ice off my windshield so I wouldn't have to." That's love in action. A man who loves you through action will do the small things that matter, listening when you need to talk, sitting with you in silence when you don't, filling your gas tank without saying a word. He's not seeking praise. He simply wants to make your life easier, because he cares. And when conflict arises, he doesn't disappear. He doesn't make excuses or shift blame. He owns his role and works to make things right. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Stoic love isn't dramatic, it's dependable. It's not about sweeping gestures. It's about doing the right thing, every day, without needing recognition. And when you experience that kind of love, you realize something beautiful: you don't need to be told you're loved 100 times a day. You can feel it, loud and clear, in every little thing he does. 6. He stays when things get hard. Anyone can love you when the skies are blue and everything is going smoothly. But life, as we all know, is full of storms. Illness, loss, financial setbacks, family conflict. That's when true love is revealed, not in words, not in gifts, but in the quiet decision to stay. A man who truly loves you doesn't run when things get difficult. He doesn't withdraw when you're at your lowest or disappear when the road gets bumpy. He digs in. He stands beside you. Not because he's obligated, but because real love doesn't quit when it's tested, it grows deeper. Stoic wisdom reminds us that hardship is a natural part of life. As Seneca once said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body. A Stoic man understands this. He doesn't expect life, or love, to always be easy. He expects to face challenges, and he prepares to meet them with strength, patience, and grace. I remember an older couple in our community, married for over 55 years. When she was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he became her caretaker, not just in the practical sense, but in the emotional one. He never made her feel like a burden. He adjusted their life, day by day, with calm and devotion. "This isn't the end of love," he told me once. "This is the part that proves it was real all along." A man like this doesn't leave when emotions run high or when your health falters. He doesn't check out during grief, or hide when you need his support. Instead, he leans in. He listens. He reassures. And he stays, not just physically, but emotionally present too. He doesn't treat commitment as something conditional. It's not based on whether life is going well or whether you're at your best. His love endures through the changes, the losses, the unexpected turns. Because he sees love not as convenience, but as a choice, one he makes again and again. In the end, real love isn't measured by how someone treats you on the best day. It's proven in how they show up on the worst. When a man stays through the storm, you know he's not just in love with the good parts of you, he's in love with all of you. And that is a love worth keeping. Love through the lens of Stoic philosophy. At this stage of life, love should feel like peace, not confusion. The most important lesson from Stoic philosophy is this: true love isn't about intensity, it's about integrity. A good man doesn't just say he loves you, he proves it through steady action, patience, and presence. He doesn't need to control you to feel close, he respects your independence and stays through the storms. In your relationships, look beyond words and watch how someone behaves when life gets difficult. Because real love, the kind that endures, is quiet, intentional, and built on values that stand the test of time. If this message spoke to you, take a moment today to reflect on the love in your life, not just in words, but in actions. Whether you're in a long-term relationship or still searching for someone who truly sees you, remember, you deserve a love that brings peace, not pressure. Share this video with someone who might need this reminder. And if you've experienced this kind of steady, Stoic love, or if you're still hoping to find it, I invite you to leave a comment below. Even just writing, "I believe in lasting love," can be your way of affirming that it's never too late to choose better, love wiser, and expect more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's continue building a community rooted in dignity, wisdom, and meaningful connection, Because real love is not just possible, it's worth waiting for.